All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. We're going to talk about the Democratic plan or attempt to try to steal the 2024 election. Now, when you think about how people assess politics, a lot of people approach it naive and they assume that people in positions of so-called authority within the governmental structure have the best interests of the people at heart, which is not true. They have the best interests of the people that pay them, their donators, the different corporations, and the globalists and the UN. But what they are doing, and this is what I want to bring attention to, they're using black liberal shield. Like a person like Roland Martin and other black liberals who have a platform, they are painting a narrative as if they don't really know that there's been a mass exodus from the Democratic plantation. But these overseers and these sellouts, they come before you in media being disingenuous because they actually know. They hear what other black people are saying. Just like you hear me on this podcast, and I'm gonna do a reaction to another black man's podcast, and you see it all through media that the Democratic Party, black people are leaving it. We're leaving it because it has betrayed the interests of black people, and it has really betrayed the interests of the American people. So we're gonna stop even talking about black and white for a minute because as Americans, we can see that our politicians that are in place right now have sold the country. They have sold the country, sold the constituents in debt to the point to where our actual birth certificates and social security cards are used as chattel papers to secure international debt. Think about that. The United States is in trillions of dollars in debt to China and other countries, and the collateral they use is their ability to tax their citizens by using your birth certificate and your social security card as chattel papers and collateral because you will be taxed. That's what they use to secure their loans because they're not backed by gold anymore. So I don't want to really get off of that. I want to stay focused on the topic. The topic is they have positioned certain people to tell you that what you're seeing is not real. But I'm gonna give you an example of how real it is. Because when you have people like Roland Martin is a traitor. He has betrayed the interests of black people for decades. His whole panel, his forum are Democratic owned media. So what he says, you always have to look behind the scenes and see that he's only saying what he's told to say in the agenda that he's paid to promote. And these are strong words, but you can see it, and Roland knows it. He's looking for his money and his position within their world, while at the same time selling out his own people and selling out the country. Because with all that education, him like people like Boyce Watkins and other so-called boule members, in their mind, they've always wanted to be close to their masters. They always wanted their master's approval. They always wanted a bone or a biscuit from their masters. So they do their master's bidding no matter how much it harms their own people, their own communities, and their own country. So I want you to check out this clip I'm finna show you. And it's for fair use in the 1976 Copyright Act. It's for commentary and educational purposes. I want you to check out this shield as he lies to the world. Check it out.
Don't believe the BS. Black people ain't down with Donald Trump. A Florida conservative radio host says he and his team were responsible for the AI-generated images of Donald Trump posing with black voters. They've been posted on social media. The images were created by Mark Kay, one of a dozen discovered by BBC Panorama. These fake images of black Trump supporters generated by artificial intelligence are one of the emerging disinformation trends ahead of November's presidential election. This goes.
Let me tell you this, and we're gonna stop at this one point. Donald Trump does not have to use AI intelligence to fake a picture with black supporters. That's a fact. Donald Trump has enough black supporters behind him right now that he doesn't need a fake picture. They create the fake picture, then blame him for it as if he's the one disseminating disinformation and he's the liar. But clearly, that's a trick that you can only use against people who you think are dumb. Why would Donald Trump have his people create an AI generated photo with him and black people as if he didn't just leave a conservative black convention with over 300 black people of notable stature supporting him at their convention? So why would he ask somebody, go get me some fake pictures from AI and mess the pictures up while people have six fingers and the pictures are so, it's all disinformation. And he knows this. Roland Martin knows this. He knows this. He is the number one sellout and traitor to black people right now in this country. And I'm not just saying this for hyperbole. This is his job. This man has no morals, no character. He is boule. He has been through all the Greek rituals, getting paddled, and you know what I mean, and all the things they do to say that they're part of a Greek fraternity. What black man wants to be a part of a Greek fraternity? You can't create a fraternity of your own. Think about that. Whatever made black people join Greek organizations? Not even American, not African, or create their own Greek. So let's listen to him.
To show you on the Congo, they cannot attract black people, and so they got to create fake black people. I think President Biden.
Now that picture with Malvo and the rest of those paid shields, please, black people, like, share this video and understand that these people are lying and duplicitous and selling out their own communities in a race bait as if this Biden problem is not an American problem. Biden is an American and global problem. He's not just an American problem at this point. His inability to be disconnected from a globalist agenda has him selling our whole entire country out. And to mislead black people, he's using these sellouts, these bootlicks, to further the agenda. This is treacherous. This is traitorous. This this is bad because he knows everything that Roland is finna say, and these people that he has women finna say, they know it's a lie. They know that the grassroots black community has left Biden and are willing to take a chance on Trump's administration. And the ones that aren't willing, there's a whole nother sector that are supportive and dug their heels in deep to support Trump. Because we've seen 4 years of Biden. You're going to tell us to believe what you're saying and not believe our eyes. Let's continue. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let you hear this.
So the dream that he couldn't accomplish. His famous quote was that for African American, you weren't black if you didn't vote for Joe Biden.
What do you think of former President Trump?
I think President Trump was a bad people's person, but a great leader. He put our economy in a booming state. He provided a permanent funding.
Now look, and I'm going to let this play, and I'm going to let you hear it. This young brother said, he said Trump was a bad people person because he makes those off-the-cuff remarks, and his opposition, his ops, use those off-the-cuff remarks and exaggerate them for clickbait. But as far as betraying his constituents, he's never done it. Trump has never betrayed America. The only people that have betrayed the country is this Biden administration. Look at all the money they sent to overseas. Look at all the things they've done. Why they smile and tell you, you know what I mean? It's raining, but they peeing on your head.
For all HBCUs.
This is all right, guys. So the left is in full-blown panic mode about the idea of black people leaving the Democrat Party, okay? And you have some reality denialism going on the left, where you have people coming out and saying that, no, that's not happening, okay? Black people are not going to support Trump. They're not going to vote for Trump. Now, here's the thing. I'm not sure if that's the case, okay? I told you guys, my expectations are not very high when it comes to whether or not there will be a significant shift in the black vote towards Trump. But I have my hopes up, right? But however, this time around, if Trump does not get a significant shift in the black vote, then it's over, right? There is no hope, okay? And the black vote will forever be irrelevant, okay? But we'll see, okay? We will see, because I think that we probably won't see much movement among black women, but we'll probably see a lot of movement among black men. I'm hoping that 30 to 40% of black men come out and vote for Trump or vote Republican, okay? I'm hoping that that is what we say. And it seems like we are getting some movement, according to the polls in the mainstream liberal media. They're saying that black voters are shifting over towards Trump. I mean, again, it's not over 50%, which, you know, you would like to see. Like, for example, when you have Hispanics, Latinos, yeah, I mean, they basically support Trump now. Black people are the only racial demographic in this country that overwhelmingly votes for one political party. And people act like that's a good thing. That's not a good thing, and that's not normal, okay? That would suggest that there is some serious lack of thinking that is going on among that demographic of people. If you're the only demographic that is overwhelmingly voting for one political party, it just doesn't make any sense, right? It makes no sense whatsoever. So with that being said, we have to react to a video by BET, okay, Black Entertainment Network, because they are talking to black voters about Biden versus Trump, and you have some black voters coming out and saying that, hey, I'm outright going to vote for Trump, or have abandoned Biden and saying I'm going to vote for Trump, or are on the verge of voting for Trump. And when BET is putting out programming suggesting that black voters are shifting towards Trump, I think that we may have something real going on here, right? I think there may be an actual real shift that is happening, and I'm hoping that is the case. So without further ado, let's actually react to this.
The race for the White House is coming into focus after Super Tuesday. The country appears to be headed toward a rematch between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Just like in 2020, black voters.
Let me say this. and then I'm going to let you watch it. The Democrats, everything they accuse Trump of, they do. Their fake news and their misinformation is so obvious just by you hear my podcast. You hear this brother's podcast. Look at what black men are saying that are community based, family based, nuclear family based. You know what I mean? Civil people. We don't want all your liberalism that you offer because we see it as demonic, satanic, immoral, demoralizing. So when you see somebody like a Roland Martin who's been doing this for years with his shields, it's despicable and it's disgusting. Because he wants to sit and say, oh, black people, they don't want to support Trump, as if we didn't live under 4 years of Trump as president and 4 years of Biden, and we have nothing to compare the two to. Like, we can't compare 4 years under the Trump administration to 4 years under the Biden administration. Like, we didn't actually live that. Like, what we lived, we didn't see. We didn't experience. We didn't see the politics. We didn't see how China was shut down. We didn't see the money that was put into our communities. We didn't see that. That's what they want to tell us. And then they put these type of people out. I mean, I don't like to be personal, but for Roland Martin and his ilk to be as deceitful and deceptive as they are as it relates to the Democrats, I believe they got something on him. I believe they know that he did something. He did some P. Diddy type stuff, allegedly, or he did something shameful that keeps him directly under their power. And once they realize that he can't help them for real, all he can get out here do is pontificate and throw out these wild accusations. Like, the Trump administration went and got somebody to use AI to create his pictures. Why would Trump need that? Why would he need that? He has enough conservative black people to take a picture with. You don't have to fake no picture. No matter how marginalized you want to make the black community, he doesn't need AI to take a picture. But they come out with that because they want to create an illusion, because they might be trying to set up and steal an election again. Because I'm from Detroit, and I do not believe that Biden won Detroit. In Detroit under Trump, we were living too good. I have a big family. I watch my nephews, my cousins, myself. I watched all of us thrive economically. When have you ever been around and every other few months you get a $1,200 stimulus check, and then if you had kids, it went up to $1,800 and $2,200, supplementing your income while your benefits were still going strong with health care and unemployment. So you're going to tell me that didn't happen? Or you're going to try to usurp it and say it was because of a Democratic Congress? No. Every check that you got had Donald J. Trump's name on it. And as far as political ideology, when black people were eating and being able to be self-sufficient, we didn't care enough about the politics to pay close attention. And that's how they was able to steal Detroit and Atlanta. And they're setting it up again, but trick no good. It will not go down there because we're watching you. And people like Roland Martin that you put out to say that we don't exist, the anti-Biden black community doesn't exist, is ridiculous, because we here, and that's why we calling him out and putting him on Front Street.
Voters will play a critical role in the outcome of this election.
Where they claim that black women saved the country from Trump, right? And if that's the case, then I guess you could blame liberal black women for the state that the country is currently in under Joe Biden, because they saved democracy. But it just so happens when you fast forward to 2024, okay, I don't think it's a coincidence that you see a lot of liberal black women starting to take some L's. Okay, they're taking a whole lot of L's lately. Okay, but what is really going to come down to in regards to the importance of the black vote?
Let me make this statement, and you can quote me on this, and you can pin this as a statement. Liberalism is anti-Christian because the Bible is not liberal. Christianity is not liberal. It has rules, commandments, doctrine. I'm going to say that again. It has commandments, rules, and a doctrine that the Democratic Party goes against. I've said in my videos before, everything God says don't do, the Democrats say you can do. They say you can do it. If God says abomination, they say God's wrong. So if they say God is wrong, then of course, the average Joe Schmo like me, clearly I'm wrong. If I can say that I don't want to send my kid to school as a boy and he come back as a girl, or thinking he's a girl, or I don't want this immoral expenditure for war that comes out of my tax dollar. You want to charge me taxes on everything. And I'm not rich. I don't have no lot of money for you to tax me the way you tax me. You want to take the tithes that should go to the church to support your nefarious Luciferic ideology. And people like Roland Martin and these Democratic black shills are traitorous. They the ones would have told on Harriet Tubman. They would have told on Nat Turner. They would tell on Jesus. These are the Judases of the black community. Because you want to sit up here and say that us as black Americans, we don't consider ourselves Americans. So you want to keep race baiting. We already know every culture has their idiots. You know what I mean? White people had their racists. Black people had their racists. Chinese people had their racists. Every nationality has their kooks. But we're not going to highlight the agenda of the kooks and embrace it as a social norm. You follow what I'm saying? Let's be real.
Really, it's not how much they vote for Democrats over Republicans, okay, in the sense of, when we're talking about percentage-wise, because 90% black people voting for Democrats is a normal thing, okay? It's been like that basically since the civil rights era, and Republicans have won regardless. What it really comes down to is how many of them actually come out and vote, okay? If there is a large turnout of black voters, then that's going to be a problem, especially if they are voting for Democrats at a 90% clip, okay? However, if there is low turnout of black voters, even if they vote for Democrats at 90%, the Democrats are probably going to lose. And this fact is very relevant when we're talking about large population centers, so large liberal cities in red states. Okay, so think states like Georgia or a Pennsylvania. Okay,
every Democratic ran city is rampant with crime, drugs, and debauchery, with no answer from the police and the authorities. The mayors, that's Democratic, they've all sold out for the crumbs off the Democratic plantation. They even got the nerve to say that Joe Biden's State of the Union address or whatever that was that he did, oh, it was great. Anybody looked at that, seen an old segregationalist campaigning to continue to control and push his narrative. He is a student of Strom Thurmond. He is a segregationist. He is the very people that Martin Luther King marched against. Do you understand that Lyndon B. Johnson, the Democratic president, and John F. Kennedy, the Democratic president, are the ones who put J. Edgar Hoover on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King? They okayed it. They sanctioned it. They sent them to undermine the Black Panthers in every organization. Not to mention that the Democrats are the party of the slave masters. How do you attempt to erase history in the face of people that's still alive since the 60s? I was born in the 60s. I seen the 70s. I seen the 80s. I seen the 90s. I've seen this. I've seen people like Roland Martin and the Democratic Shields be turncoats and traitors to not only the Black community, but to American culture. I want to know, why do y'all hate conservatives so much? Because they believe in God and country? Patriots, come on now. They hate God and country. That's why everything that we're arguing about has something to do with some type of spiritual development. Why is the Democratic Party running on abortion? Their whole thing is running on abortion. Then Kamala Harris comes out and say, we want a ceasefire just through Ramadan. And then after Ramadan, they back at it again. Really what they're doing is giving the opposition, which are they allies, time to replenish their weapons, build what was destroyed on their side, and then start afresh. And I guarantee you're going to see it. When Ramadan is over, watch how the bombing immediately starts. It's like they playing with you. We're gonna have a temporary ceasefire. What is a temporary ceasefire? Either you're gonna stop shooting at me or you're not. Let's continue. Don't say you ain't gonna shoot at me on Monday, then come back Tuesday.
Where you have cities like Philadelphia, large Black population, cities like Atlanta, large Black population. If a ton of Black people show up to vote Democrat, okay, at a 90% clip, then that spells bad news for Republicans, because those states are decided by popular vote. Okay, so if you have these Black voters putting Democrats over the edge, even though the rest of the state is voting the right way, right, so to speak, then that's how a state like Pennsylvania can flip blue, okay, or how a state like Georgia can flip blue, even though the state is overwhelmingly red. Okay, that's typically what happens. However, if that turnout is low, you don't have that same effect, in the sense that most likely the state is going to go red. Okay, when you're talking about a swing state like a Pennsylvania or a Georgia. In fact, those states are only swing states literally because you have a group of people in a very small area, but a large population of them just voting one way, all voting for Democrats. It's pretty fascinating stuff. But with that being said, the turnout problem is going to be a huge problem for Democrats, because quite honestly, nobody is motivated to vote for Joe Biden. Due to the state of the country, the economy,
I'm going to stop there because I want you to see that's another black man. You know what I mean? And I'm quite sure in his channel and in his constituency, he knows the demographics of the people that support his channel, just like I know the demographics of the people that support my channel. So when they come out here and they say these things, they're lying. They're using tricknology. And tricknology is all ways of the devil and of evil. Because we're going to take it there. They want to say, oh, democracy is in danger. With the Democratic Party, our very souls are in danger. Our very souls. They want to make you unacceptable to God so he'll never hear your prayers. You can't pray for an abortion. I know you can't pray for abortion. Is that what you're praying for? Think about it. Peace, San Detroit. Keep your head on a swivel. Salute to all patriots.